right. Well, hello. I'm a hugger, but only when I drink, and I haven't done that in almost 25 years. So most people, pretty much everyone here, knows me as either a strict non-hugger or as someone who just makes it super awkward every time. I think, so I grew up around a place called Sven's Mountain, and it's not actually a mountain, but here we have. Yep, there it is, right there. Yeah, it's not a mountain, but it is where I learned to drink at age 12, and it's also where I had my last drink at age 20. Yeah, so. Growing up around there was a really interesting, we had a lot of rules around gender. So for example, anything feminine was just assumed to be gay, and don't be gay, except good luck with that because there's a million things that can make you gay, right? Shoot, I gotta cheat a little bit here. See ya. All right. Okay, so we can do hugging. You can hug your guy friends, but you got to make it really quick. And it's just fast enough to tap 3 times on the back to let them know I'm not gay. As a guy, you must drink alcohol, but no chick drinks, because gay. You got to have the ultimate manly, ungay beverage, which is, of course, beer. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Yeah, because then you can say things like, you see that pile of empty Miller High Life cans there? Yeah, I did that. And I crushed them on my head. But in all seriousness, this homophobic dude culture, really messed me up. It got me to a place where I could never let my guard down around anyone, especially not around other guys, unless we were super fucking drunk. And it wasn't too hard to get alcohol. My buddy Pete and I, we'd get on our bikes and head up to the lake where the rich people had their summer cabins, and we'd find an open door, an open window, make our way in, and just haul out as much alcohol as we could fit in our school backpacks. And then we'd get a bunch of friends together, we'd gather around a fire or a ice fishing shack, and we would drink until everything was gone. And at a certain point, our inhibitions would start to melt away, and we could share traumatic experiences. We could cry. We could show each other kindness and support. We could hug each other for real. The kind of hug that you can only do with someone that you care about and feel safe with. Now, it wasn't all good, though. When I was 14, my buddy Sven's older cousin was having a party up on Sven's Mountain. A few of us got on our bikes and went up to join him at this hunting shack. And we got there, and they thought it was really funny that there was some middle schoolers at their party. And they gave us all a can of warm beer and told us we had to chug it all at once or we'd have to leave. So I finished mine, and as soon as I did, they said, okay, here's another one. You got to do that one too. And another one, and another one. And it wasn't long before I was blitzed. And there was this other older guy there. Dude's name was Bumpy. And his girlfriend had recently broken up with him. And he was very angry about it, and he was very drunk about it. And he really wanted to fight somebody, and for whatever reason, he picked me. And so he spent what seemed like an hour trying to provoke me into a fight. I was in no position to do such a thing. I was much smaller than him at the time. He's 19, I'm just out of middle school, and apart from all of that, I'm so drunk I could barely stand. And so I'm sitting on this log in front of the fire, and he's standing over me, and I look down and I see his boots and the steel toe is wearing through the worn leather, and he pokes me and he says, "Hey, you smoke marijuana?" And I don't know if there was a correct answer to this, but I just guessed, and I said, "Yeah." And that's the last thing I remember. He wound up and knocked me out cold and then continued to just wail on me with his fists and those steel-toe boots until he got tired out. And then he went to his pickup truck to get a baseball bat. And luckily, my friend seized on that moment to drag me away from that fire and deep into the forest where nobody could find me, apparently including them. So I woke up the next morning in a bed of crispy oak leaves, and there was a lot of blood. And I remember seeing some of it had dried on the leaves, and it looked almost black. And I see my hat laying there, and there's blood splattered on the underside of the bill. And I look down on my shirt, and it is completely soaked with blood. And I feel my face, my eyes are nearly swollen shut. My teeth, my front teeth are all very loose. And my lip is split almost up to my nose. So obviously I quit drinking then. Just kidding. No, I went on to develop a serious drinking problem after that. And by sophomore year in college, I had started blacking out more and more and was nearly expelled. And so I go back home for the summer to work, and I reconnect with my old buddy Pete. Predictably, we get extremely drunk, and he says, "Hey, let's go find that witch's house." Okay, you need some context. So when we were kids, he swore that he found this witch's house up on Sven's Mountain, and apparently there was a cauldron out front and a pile of bones next to it, and he was sure that bones were from his dog who had gone missing. Right. And so I was like, okay, man, let's go find this witch's house. And so we set out in the dark on these four-wheelers and way too much alcohol, and we're getting drunker by the mile. And at a certain point, I see the lights on his four-wheeler are suddenly pointing straight up. And he had gone off the trail, hit a tree, and it was stuck up against it. So I stumble over and try to help him get it down. The last thing I remember, it's falling back toward me. And the next thing I know, it's daytime, and I am covered with mud and bruises and cuts, and I'm in handcuffs, and I'm in the back of a police car. Now, apparently what happened is that I blacked out and went wandering through the woods for a while, ended up in a marsh, and from there made my way into the open walk-in basement of these people's house, took off all of my clothes, everything, made a huge mess, and then passed out. And that's where they found me in the morning. So that was humiliating. But what really got to me was the realization that in a blackout, it could have been even worse. What if, for example, I had gone berserk and brutally attacked a middle schooler, bumpy style? And so I stopped drinking. And that's right around the same time as I stopped hugging. And it's been almost a quarter of a century. I do not miss drinking, not a bit. The only part that I miss is having an excuse to be emotionally vulnerable, especially around other guys. And I've never found anything that gets me there like soaking my brain in alcohol did until recently. So I gotta say, doing this project over the last couple months with this particular group of guys has been pretty healing for me. I dare say we have found our way to letting our guard down. We've shared traumatic experiences. We've shown each other caring and support. We've cried. And these dudes, they even got me hugging. And I mean for real, like the kind of hug that you can only do with someone that you feel safe with and care about. And so I have a new rule. I am a hugger, but I'm still probably just going to be awkward about it for a while. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. Thank you. I believe we have an intermission now. Yeah.